Gary, let me ask you a question. You mentioned about risk management, analysis, Note 40 being a dashboard accounting tool. But one thing that I heard you talk in the past, you said on many of your shows, you mentioned the importance of data and companies having data, and that's very important. How would you relate that to Note 40 for some of the maybe investors on the investment side of things? Because when I invested in Note 40, I understand that Note 40 also has all the data, and that now we have AI. Where do you see that? How this can be utilized and to bring more revenue and solve problems and create maybe new revenue streams, products?
Well, I think one, I don't know more important data than, income, positions on crypto, and taxation, right? These are, remember, you don't pay taxes on crypto unless you sold it. So the amount of information that you start thinking in macro terms, big data. Imagine if we were able, there's only two companies focused on the very top of the food chain. It's us and another player. And they're pretty much, they've raised 150 million. We've raised 8. They've done a very good job. The problem is they're capped out. They can't take any more business. This is what I've been saying for a long time. I'm like, oh, wow, we have 10 competitors. They could all they could all fill their bags up with great business. And we're still only going to cover 30% of the needs, max 30%, man. Like, this is an addressable market problem. This is why I go to the 1099s. It goes from 4 to 12 billion. Dude, this is not going from 4 to 12. It's going from 4 billion, which is already a problem. And it's a commodity. It get paid hardly any money. Now there's another 12 million. Well, who's going to want to do those? And the people and you have to do them. So every firm's going to be stressed to do those. This is less than 1% of the entire global market, man. What happens when we have VanEck? Have you guys heard this news? VanEck, they're a large crypto player, but nobody had a clue how large their position was. 30% plus is allocated to Bitcoin. Plus 30. I'm 86, man. Okay. 6 months ago, we were all sitting here going, whoa, the whole world's going to change. 1% of the market's going to move into Bitcoin. VanEck's at 30 plus, man. Okay. What if it's 7, 10? We were like literally jacked up going, whoa, 1%. 1%'s $8 trillion. 1% is an $8 trillion Bitcoin, right? $8 trillion market cap, $800 trillion total assets in the world. I think actually there's more assets than that, but let's still use 800 trillion. 1%, that's 8 trillion. At 5%, it's 40. Okay, that's where I think that we're going. We're going in the next 18 months. I think 18 to 24 months, we'll be at a $3 trillion market cap. It's at 1.1 right now, Bitcoin only. And we will proceed to just eat up. Once we get past NVIDIA, we will begin to chew into the others. And these are much bigger markets. So, and I think I look at Bitcoin as a market cap deal, as an industry, not the price of the coin itself. There's everything around it has to be built to support it. That's why I always say, hey, this is a industry. It's the Bitcoin industry or the digital asset industry. And you can call it DAI, but the truth is it's all tied to Bitcoin, man. Right? It's all tied to Bitcoin. So that's the picks and shovels. See, the cool thing about the picks and shovels, there will be people. Somebody asked me last night. They said, "Hey, you just buy Bitcoin." I said, "Well, it's a little bit different than that. Actually, I'm in Bitcoin, And then the more I studied Bitcoin, I realized, oh, well, I have some money over here that I can't put into Bitcoin, but I love Bitcoin. Oh, I think I'm going to move that money into the miners. Okay, so I moved banking money into miners. So now I'm into Bitcoin. I then go buy Node 40 as an investment because I'm like, oh, picks and shovels. That's going to pay off maybe 3 or 4 years from now. I've got my Bitcoin. It's sitting there. I've got now. Why would I do Node 40? Well, I have so much commodity exposure on Bitcoin right now. I still want the exposure to the Bitcoin industry, but maybe not the ups and downs. What can I buy? Oh, reporting mechanism. Node 40 doesn't care if the price is $12 or the price is 12 million. You still got to do your accounting. I've heard people go, oh, well, I haven't made enough money to do my reports. That's not an excuse to do your tax filing. Okay. But sorry, I only owe $2. Sorry, I've got to charge you $2,000 for the report. So some of these people shouldn't even be in this game. They're literally buying the van that I used about my daughter and never changing the oil. The cars, I can't afford it. Ooh, you can't afford the oil. You can't afford the car, dude. The oil is not the problem. You could never afford the car. So some people should not be in these digital assets, especially the guys trading frequently and not even considering a 42% tax gain while you're listening to people in Dubai that have zero. Like, you can't listen to Rand, man, if you're in the United States. I like Rand, okay? But I cannot possibly trade with Rand. I pay 42% tax. So as I look at investing in the Bitcoin industry, I go, Bitcoin, let me I got to add 13 because I gave Trump 12 of them or something. And then I got Node 40, and then I started looking at, I like the miners too. The miners are interesting. So you're starting to see people buy chunks of the entire value chain. People aren't just going, hey, I'm going to buy a Bitcoin. After you do 100 hours of this, you're like, ooh, I want a piece of everything. Like and now some people here are going to go, whoa, the consolidation you have. What great wealth is made in consolidation, and it's the only way you make it, unless your dad dies and leaves you with it, which, by the way, you were totally consolidated on your dad. Even the inheritance is a consolidation play. So this thing about diversity, I ain't scared. That's the only reason people diversify, because they're not certain. Okay, they're not. I am most certain about at least 2 or 3 of these investments. The miners might go a little weird. They're going to be violent. For sure, they're going to be violent. Now, why did I do that? Because I couldn't buy Bitcoin. Now, the question should be, hey, you could have bought MicroStrategy, but you didn't. And I don't have MicroStrategy. I'm like, I could have bought it for 500, dude. It's a big premium, but I could be wrong there. I look at it and go, hey, I own 4 miners that I wonder if it should just be in Bitcoin. Most certainly, it'll have less down volatility, MicroStrategy. So none of this is investment advice. I'm just sharing giving you the answer that I have. I don't do a bunch of day trading, so I don't need Node 40 for that. But I need Node 40 because my book's too big. I'm a target, and I want to be able to. I'm assuming I am going to be accosted by every draconian enforcement agency possible, and I need protection, man. I need a report that puts these people, because see, they don't have any metrics. They can file suits against us. Who cares? And if they're wrong, nobody gets fired, man. You and I, we're like, hey, this is costing real money here.